Do not record it to your computer. Yeah, but if it goes to your computer, it takes like 2 days to download it. Maybe some people have a faster computer than I do. But so Kaylin and Shannon, I'm interested in hearing, because you are both two sides of the coin that we use to get students. We started with outreach, so that's Kaylin, and then we finished with asking the school leadership to help us find some people, and that's Shannon. So talk me a little bit through your understanding, like what attracted you to RYLA, how did you find out about it, and then what solidified the decision for you to pursue this opportunity? Let's start with Kaylin. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I didn't know what to do.
Because you applied first.
Okay. As a part of the Interact Club, I'm vice president of the Interact Club, and we had a really fun time. And Miss Magoon, our advisor, mentioned that it was supported by the Rotary Club. And then I saw the RYLA sign on the Bedford newsletter. And at first it was like a little hard to see, but it kept coming up. So I decided to sign up, and it turned out to be a really great experience.
Great, thank you. How about you, Shannon?
So
I know we recruited you, right?
Yeah, my guidance counselor actually told me and my mom about it, and I wasn't really sure if I was. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know if it's my thing. Like, I'm kind of like, at first it was a little like anxiety provoking because I had no idea what to really expect. But I kind of read more into it, and my counselor was telling me more about it, and I thought it would be really cool. And I'm very glad I went because it ended up being a really great opportunity.
I'm glad you went too. I remember doing the hard sell for you when you said, oh, I'm not sure, I'm a little bit on the fence. And I said, well, I don't want to pressure you, but here's all the things you will miss out on if you, and I was very excited when you emailed me back and said you wanted to come. Let's talk a little bit about what so you said you didn't really have any expectations, but everybody has expectations. So what were some of the things that you maybe thought before you attended what you might experience? Let's start with you, Shannon.
For me, I was kind of like, I just was nervous because I didn't really know a lot of people. I knew some of my friends who were going, but they were going on the Saturday and I was going on the Friday. And, you know, I was kind of like telling my mom, like, as we were getting closer, I was like, I don't know if like I'm gonna like this because I don't really know anyone, and like I'm so nervous that no one's gonna talk to me. And I remember walking in and being like, oh my God, I'm so nervous right now. But it honestly ended up being really cool. And we did a lot of like really awesome activities, and I was able to meet a lot of awesome people. So I guess I'm very glad that I didn't let like my anxiety get the best of me, and I still went because it was really great.
Great, thank you so much. How about you, Kaylin?
I was sort of expecting a lot of teamwork, which did come up in the conference because it was called the leadership conference, but I wasn't really expecting some of the more creative sides, like showing leadership and teamwork outside, or like in all the different activities we did. And some parts came as a surprise, but the leadership part was present in almost all our activities.
Yeah, so that's a great segue into what would you say is the most interesting thing that you learned about yourself, or what was the most helpful thing that you learned from attending from a leadership perspective? Let's start with you, Kaylin. You see, I got a pattern here. If you answered the last question, you go first.
I learned how to definitely listen and take time to understand new and different people. Like if I didn't know them or they weren't from Bedford, which was most of the people or all the people in our assigned groups, I tried and learned like not to judge them by their first impression and to get to know them and how they work with people.
Great.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree. I definitely learned a lot about different people and everyone's different background. And I think I learned a lot about like what it takes to be a leader. And just considering like all the different like steps and like the whole process to becoming like a good leader and like a respectful and loyal leader. And yeah, no, it was definitely very useful.
Great. Well, I'm going to stop asking questions and I'm going to open it up to other people who might have questions for you, if that's okay. Anybody from our group?
Yeah, I got a question.
Of course you do, Ralph. I was counting on you.
That was an important one. How did the food part work out?
I like that.
Did you get the regular college food or was it different?
I cannot hear anything. I'm so sorry. What
Oh,
did you
sorry.
say?
Yeah, I have to walk around. With this. No, it's fine.
The question was, how did the food part work out? Was it regular college food? Was it good college food? What happened? How
I
did
am
it happen?
so glad that you mentioned this because the food
Oh,
was
good.
so good for no reason. Like, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, I was so hungry. It was really, I had pasta and like, it was so good. I'm very glad you mentioned that actually.
How about you, Caitlin? Did you like the food? I think we got gypped because we went on the day when the ice cream machine didn't work.
Oh.
I agree with Shannon. The food was amazing, especially at dinner. It was like a buffet, and I'm not sure if all college food is like that, but me and like a group of other people managed to get some like drizzlings from the ice cream machine on the second day or on the first day, but it was still pretty good, even if it was a little like slushy.
Questions? What was the most fun thing? What'd you say, Kaylin?
I'd say like the ropes course was really fun. Like, we got to like get up with our fellow Rylans and go like sort of put our skills into use, but just like hang out on the ropes course and like put ourselves in maybe uncomfortable positions.
How about you, Shannon?
Yeah, I did really like the ropes course. I was terrified and I was shaking, but I did really enjoy it. I think I really enjoyed getting to know lots of different people. And I think like a really cool thing that I did learn there was like a lot of us are very similar, even though we're all from different places. Like a lot of us struggle with similar things and we're all like working on similar things to like make us better people. And I just thought that was really interesting and it made me feel like less alone, I guess. Like, you know, we're all kind of in this together.
So when you were saying how kind of apprehensive you were when you pulled up and you were a little bit nervous, I wonder how many other people that were there were feeling the exact same thing. I bet a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. I bet my mom was telling me that too. She was like, everyone is kind of in the same position as you, which did make me feel less nervous.
Yeah, your mom's very smart. All right, yeah.
So I was gonna say, so on the first day, whatever your first day was for you, you had about 7 people in your group. And then you came back on Sunday and you got to meet the other half of your group. Tell us about that, because I'll tell you, at the end of the first day, we reminded everyone that that's what was going to happen. They were going to get to meet the other half of their family. And there was an audible, oh, in the entire population. They were a little, they had bonded together so well, but they were a little unsure about that. And so tell me about how that was for you and your group. Tell us a little bit about your group. And you talked about how far away they were from, and yeah, tell us about that.
I can talk first, I guess. I don't know if I'm supposed to talk first or Caitlin should. I can. I was a little nervous, if you're not surprised. I have a lot of anxiety, if you can't tell. You know, because by the end of the first day, I really thought my group had like bonded a lot. And so I was a little nervous to add like more people into the mix. But I remember on Sunday, we did an activity where we came up with like our own community service project, and it kind of combined people from Friday and Saturday in my group. And that moment for me was really nice because I think like we all like kind of came together to make something really cool. And I think like honestly, it just like it strengthened the bond between my original group, and it made me meet like some new really cool people from the Saturday group. So yeah, I really enjoyed it actually.
Kaylin?
For our group, like in the morning, we were really like oil and water. We weren't really getting along, but after we sort of introduced ourselves and later in the day when we got to the school and we did like some like the project, we sort of like bounced ideas off each other and got to know each other and learned how to like include and work with new people.
That's great. Thank you. Wait.
Know more about the service project.
Okay, Ms. Paula would like to know more about the service project. So Kaylin, you want to describe that a little bit?
Yeah, the service project is like where we come up with ideas, or each group comes up with ideas that are proposed, and the committee sort of works out and picks the best project that will actually happen for the next year. And our group did like an environmental cleanup project where we'd go somewhere and like pick up the trash and work with like the local nature organization. And we came up with like a budget for that, and we presented it to like the group.
So then are you going to do it, or it was like a pitch, trying to learn how to make a pitch?
It was definitely a pitch. Like it might not happen, but there were like a lot of similar ideas. Like there were like the environmental people, and then a lot of people did things related to like feminine products and Roe v. Wade. So either one of those ideas would probably happen.
Great, thank you. How about you, Shannon?
Yeah, so my group was one of the groups that we came up with something to kind of give women in need and like families in need supplies for like feminine hygiene, and like we came up with a list of things that would be included, almost like we were making little like care packages. So there were going to be like feminine hygiene products, like diapers for babies, pregnancy tests, like a bunch of stuff like that. And it was a pitch for something that they were considering. They were trying to have us come up with ideas for next year's RYLA, if they could do a project similar to what we came up with. And a lot of people did a similar thing to what my group did, but honestly, I thought that was, I honestly really thought that was really nice that everyone did a similar thing, because it's definitely shows that it is a big issue. And I think that even if it doesn't happen, I hope, I can work with some type of volunteering thing where I can give back to like women in need.
Thank you. So you brought up a good point about next year's RYLA. So if you had one thing that you think would be a really valuable addition or idea or something that could change for next year's RYLA, what is a suggestion that you have? We'll start with you, Shannon.
I think, this is a difficult question. I think I'm pretty sure that they said they are doing this, but I feel like at the end of RYLA, I was exhausted, but I was also like, I did want to stay with my group. So I believe that next year, are they doing like you're staying over?
Hope so.
Yeah, I think that would honestly be really cool. And I think, yeah, I feel like that would be really nice, because at the end of the day, I was so like, I'm so tired, but like these people are really awesome.
How about you, Kaylin? Can you think of any great things we could possibly implement next year?
Probably like more time to make deeper connections with like the great people there. Maybe like like what Shannon said, just staying overnight and having that time to really bond with people, and also maybe a little more time at the end for like shirt signing and like sharing contact information before we all just left.
Yeah, that's really great. Okay. Oh, hang on. I'm coming over. Got another question. Great. Keep them coming.
My question is in two parts. The first is if you'd comment on the mix of fellow members, participants, and was it what you expected? And the second part of the question is, did you form any lasting relationships?
The people there, I was definitely expecting that like type of mix of people from all over Massachusetts, but I wasn't expecting how everyone would be like so like have like such bright personalities and be like super humorous. And yeah. Could you repeat the second half of your question?
Did you, do you form any lasting friendships?
I'd say
Like people
yes.
you're going to stay in touch with?
Yeah, I definitely connected with a couple people on Instagram, and I saw like lots of posts on the RYLA Instagram, and you can sort of like find people who went to the conference on through that account.
How about you,
Yeah,
Shannon?
I think I knew that there was going to be a lot of different types of people there from all different backgrounds, but I think what made me really happy is how like no matter anyone's background or where they were from, that we could all kind of like bond together, and we were all in like the same situation of like we don't really know what's going to happen, and some of us were like, I think it was a good mix between like nervous and excited, and we were all still able to bond even though we're all different. And I did create some more long lasting connections. Some of people in my group, we made like a group chat on Snapchat, and we follow each other and we have the texting. So yeah.
Question that. Thank you. Any other questions?
Like 4,000 questions.
All sound very enthusiastic, and I'm guessing you probably would like to see it happen again next year. If we do it again next year, how would we promote it for other students to go? Any strategies on that?
I guess like maybe like schools could just put it out there a little more. Like I really hadn't heard of it before until like my guidance counselor was telling me about it. But I think like some of my friends, I had mentioned to them like, oh, I was going to this, but they didn't know what it was. So I think like maybe for schools to like send out like some emails about it or like present it somehow, I think would be really cool, because I know like some of my friends who didn't go would definitely be, I think they would really enjoy it.
Kaylin, what ideas do you have?
Probably maybe like sending out a school-wide email would have helped, because it was only on the newsletter, and that requires opening the newsletter and scrolling all the way to like the mid bottom. And then the flyer was a little small, so all you could see was like the rotary, and you'd have to like zoom in to find the link. So I think that could have been bigger. And yeah, and maybe like sort of getting out there like how fun it is, like what sorts of activities, and that sort of thing.
All right. How can you help and the other Bedford folks? Any possibility, like you guys know some rising sophomores? No.
Yeah,
sophomores.
I'm definitely going to promote it to my friends who are rising sophomores and tell them like it's really fun, it's really cool, it's a really like interesting experience. And honestly, I have some friends who are going into their sophomore year who I really think would enjoy it. So I will be promoting it to them.
Great. Thank you. You had another question?
Yeah. So we powerful sessions that we had to do this year, even though we had just one day of the programming initially was culture walk. So some of the Rotarians know what that is, but could one of you kind of give an overview and then and talk about how it was for you going through that? It's like 2.5 hours. It's a long session. I see some head nodding. Would you tell us how it was for you? Tell us what it was and tell us how it was for you.
The culture walk was like when we went up, we were in a classroom at Fitchburg State, and then there was like the front of the room, and then everyone was sitting. And then they basically called out certain like identities and groups like male, female, and other groups after that. And a lot of them were like personal, and not everyone needed to get up, but if you did, you would sort of share your experience and how people in general, what they could do to make you feel more comfortable. And for me, it was definitely like super like emotional, and I got to sort of see people in a different light. And it was, I think I really liked it, and it allowed us to get closer.
Yeah, I agree. I was definitely a little nervous at the beginning, but I feel like that was one of my favorite activities actually, because it made me feel like it really showed me like how many other people are in a similar situation to me and how a lot of people are just like me. And I think it also made me see like people who I'm like different from their background, and it kind of just made me see like one of the questions was like it called up people who like weren't religious, and it called up people who were religious, and we each kind of got to talk about it. And personally, I'm not very religious, but I got to listen to people who are more religious, and it really made me like see another side of things. And I think honestly, it just brought us together more.
That's amazing. Any other question?
A comment from the Ethernet out here. I would just like to say to Shannon and to Kaylin that one of the things we did in this morning's meeting before you got here was to go around the room, and each of us had a chance to say what we were happy about at this time of year. And as a result of hearing you two young ladies speak, I would like to add enthusiasm, brilliance, and enthusiasm of the youth of this country as represented by you two. And one exception I would take to what you said, Shannon, your anxiousness does not show. You're both brilliant examples of what is good in our future.
Thank you, Jim. That was fantastic. All right, I'm going to ask one last question. What do you think the future holds for you, and how has RYLA supported that? Like, how has this experience changed you in a way that is positive for your future?
I think RYLA definitely taught me how to like connect with people more and understand people more, even when I get a little nervous to talk to people. You know, I think in the future, I don't really know what I want to go into yet, but I definitely would like to do something where I'm helping others and giving back to my community. And I think RYLA definitely showed me great ways to work with other people and how to give back to my community. So I'm very thankful that I went.
Kaylin?
Short term, there's the opportunity to be a GF or a group facilitator next year, and that sounds like a really fun opportunity. But like long term, I think the conference definitely helped build like my leadership skills and leading a group to like solve a goal to make a bigger impact on bettering my community rather than if I were just an individual. And I think that could be applied to all different types of situations.
Yeah, one of my favorite African proverbs is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And I think what you just said exemplifies that. So I want to thank both of you for giving up time on your summer vacation to spend with us and talk to us about this experience. I know it's summer, so a lot of people were spread to the four winds, but I'm very grateful to the two of you for stepping up and being so enthusiastic about your experience and hopefully being great evangelists for other students who are interested in this next year, because I think it's been borne out that our best marketing tool are our past participants. And we're really glad that you had a great experience. I'm glad, Shannon, that we were able to talk you into this. And also glad, Kaylin, that you read the fine print on the flyer. I'm going to have to talk to the folks at the high school and figure out why they printed something so small. I know I sent them like a normal size flyer, but COVID growing pains, and next year will be the what? Best RYLA ever.
Good job, Diane.
Good job, all of you. You ladies did a really good presentation. So
Very nice.
kudos.
Nice job. So Kaylin and Shannon, next year in the newsletter, if you see it and it's tiny again, will you reach out to us and let us know? Will you be our eyes and ears? Okay. And are you both in Interact? Or either one of you in Interact?
I am not in Interact, but I will be joining Interact next year.
Oh, good. Yeah. Because one of our goals is to get more involved with the kids at the high school next year. So hopefully it's okay with you guys. I'll reach out to you and make sure we get our club connected with your club and do some more great stuff. All right. So with that, I will ring the bell and end the meeting unless there's anything else. No. Okay. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Thank you, everybody.
Great job, Dawn.
Great job.
Thanks, Joanne. Thanks, Victor.
Victor, I think you were so excited about being tied to your grandchild that you almost were at a complete loss for words. Good to see you both.
Good to see you too,
See you
Jim.
next week. Oh, we're next.
Hey, Jim.
Yes,
Did you
sir.
see that message from Alexander?
Yes, that was quite a thread. That was quite a
Small world.
enjoyed reading every word of that.
Yeah. Oh, Jim, one
Yes.
other thing. At
Yep.
the international conference, we hooked up with two new MIT Rotary alumni.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I'm adding to my list of MIT Rotary connections.
Oh, good, good, good. I'll tell you, there's a tremendous pool of talent and intellect there. And I
Yeah.
think there's a crying need in our society to be a part of something greater than ourselves. And I think that's getting more and more urgent, a sense of need.
Right.
And I was interested to hear one of the gals this morning say something about not being a particularly religious person. I'll tell you, there's just so much going on in our society today that I believe that the people going to church, the numbers are going down. But in terms of spirituality, I think it's possible to be spiritual and simultaneously not religious.
Right. Yeah. I agree with that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's good. So I didn't mean to get on a soapbox.
No. But the interesting thing is, Rotary is one of the few organizations that is pulling people together
Yes.
rather than pushing people into more the extreme divisive ends.
Yes. That's
So-
a very good point. A very good point. We need the pull together
together.
for good things. And yeah, I'm with you. I think you're going to go too far, Victor. So we can get ready to share him with the world.
Thank you, Jim. Them guys help too.
Stay healthy, Jim.
Yes.
I'm doing my best. I try to get out and walk every day. And some days I'm more enthusiastic about it than others. But I
Thank
just,
you.
Just finished up that cardiac rehab program, and I'm trying to keep the exercise going. So
Yeah, keep it going. We're all pulling for you.
yeah, thank you. Dick Hale, you're looking good. Even though
You're on mute, Dick.
take care of you guys.
Take care.
They're trying to pull the plug down there in Bedford.
Yeah, I think they left the room.
See you all later. Take care.
Take care.
Take care.